Hi, how are you today? My name is Juan Pablo from Espanol and English Private Tutoring. Today I'm going to talk about verbs. I'm going to teach you some verbs in Spanish and their meaning. I'm going to create sentences to explain how we use these verbs in the Spanish language. These sentences could be in past tense or other tenses you don't know. But if you want to try to figure out what I'm saying in English, you can use a translator, but I'm going to also give you the translation in English. If you want to practice Spanish, you can pause the video and try to figure it out on your own. If you are a student with us, you can skip this introduction if you know what we are doing, and this is part of your homework. I'm going to follow along the book that we have for classes. But if you're not a student, you don't need to have the book. I'm just going to explain the verbs here. Very common verbs and different ways that we use them. Okay, let's start then. Entonces, vamos a comenzar. So also this is part of a Spanish class, so I'm going to talk mostly in Spanish. I am going to only talk in English to translate the meaning of the sentences and explain some grammar maybe that some students may not know yet. Entonces, vamos con la página, voy a cambiar su español, página 148. Vamos con la página 148. Vamos con la 19. El verbo comer. Please remember to use a translator to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is only if you're a student. If not, just continue with the video. 48, vamos. 19, el verbo comer. Entonces, 19, comer. Voy a dar ejemplos. Entonces, ellos comen muy bien. Ellos comen muy bien. Entonces sería bebé. Ellos se comieron toda la pizza anoche. Ellos se comieron toda la pizza anoche. Yo me quiero comer. Yo me quiero comer un plato de frijoles. Quiero comer me quiero comer un plato de So these are the most common meanings. The verb comer is to eat, but we can use it in different ways. You may know this already, but we have different verbs in Spanish, the same as in English. The most common ones are intransitive, transitive verbs, some verbs that we call VCC, which I may explain later, and reflexive verbs. So the first sentence is working as an intransitive verb. So in Spanish, we can change a verb from intransitive to transitive to reflexive and so on. And sometimes by doing that the verb's meaning changes. So on the first one, I just comment muy bien, it's an intransitive verb. I'm not going to go into the details about grammar related to intransitive and intransitive verbs, since this video is not about that. I'm just going to give you general information. So the first one is they eat well. The second one is what is called a reflexive verb. It's using a reflexive pronoun say, which is something we will learn later, not now, but it's just giving you an idea, an introduction on how this works. So the part B will be they ate all the pizza last night. Okay. And the last one here, D, that will be a transitive verb. I want to eat beans, a plate of beans, red beans. So notice that when the verb comer is intransitive, meaning that it doesn't have a direct object. A direct object means the action falls directly into something or someone. If it is not falling directly into someone or something, then we don't use it in the reflexive way. But if the action is falling directly into someone, we have to use it in the reflexive form, which is se or me in this case. If you have any questions about this, you can leave all your questions in the comments and we will try to get back to you as soon as possible. If you're a student, you know what to do. Vamos con la 20. Compartir. Compartir. Ejemplos. Ejemplos. Ella quiere compartir algo. Uy. So this is a very straightforward verb, and it just means to share, to share something, right? Or it can be in intransitive. I can say in English, I want to share, or I want to share something. In this case, I'm saying I want to share something today. So to share. Now, I'm not going to deep into the meaning of these verbs because this video will be extremely long. Some of these verbs can have up to 60 different meanings. So I'm just giving you the most common ways to use these verbs. And I'm just giving you a general idea from what comes into my head, so I don't go into too much detail about this. This is something you can learn also later on as you practice conversation. But for now, I'm just giving you a general idea of how to use these verbs. Vamos con el siguiente verbo. El siguiente verbo es comprar. Ejemplos. Necesito comprar una chaqueta. Necesito comprar una chaqueta. Okay. Por aquí. Necesito comprar una chaqueta. Okay. Two ways to use this verb. This is to buy. So the first one is I need to buy a jacket. And the second one is exactly the same. I need to buy a jacket. The difference here is that the be sentence is using a reflexive pronoun. Now, some verbs in Spanish can be used to, in other words, we can, let me rephrase this. We can use reflexive pronouns with some verbs to increase the tone of the sentence. This can only happen with active verbs. Now with passive verbs. Now, what is an active verb? An active verb is when the subject of the sentence performs the action of the verb. So in this case, who is buying? I want to buy. Okay. So the action of buying is being performed by me in this case. So the verb to buy is an active verb. What is a passive verb? It's an action that is not performed by the subject. If I say in English, I am told, I'm not performing the action of the verb to be. I'm just saying that I am told. So the verb to be is a passive verb because I'm not performing the action of that verb in this sentence. So in Spanish, in some cases, not in all the cases, we can use a reflexive pronoun to increase the tone of the sentence with active verbs. In other cases, if you use a reflexive pronoun with an active verb or a passive verb, it would change the meaning completely. And this is something you're just going to have to memorize through practice. Vamos con la 22. Comprender. Ejemplos. Ellos comprenden bien la lección. B. Ellos la comprenden. H. C. Ellos no se comprenden. Él se comprende. Ellos se comprenden. Él se comprende. Él se comprende. Así mismo. Comprenden la lección. Ellos la comprenden a ella. Ellos no se comprenden. Él se comprende a sí mismo. Okay, let's leave it like that. So, comprender is to understand. But to understand in English and Spanish can be used in different ways. example, I can say understand the lesson, which is the first. The first one is they understand well the lesson. Part B will be they understand her. So you can understand a topic, but you can understand a person. See, it's the same in Spanish. The part C, they don't understand each other. In part D, he understands himself. So notice here that I'm not saying each other here in this sentence at all, because I'm using the reflexive pronoun here. If you use this verb in a reflexive form, meaning you are using it with the reflexive pronoun, and you use it in any of the plural forms, it's like you are saying, we understand each other, you understand each other, they understand each other. But if you use it in the singular form with the reflexive pronoun, you are not saying each other in English, you are saying himself, herself. I understand myself, you understand yourself, he understands himself, and so on. Vamos con el siguiente verbo. Contestar. Contestar. Bien. Vamos con ejemplos. Él contestó bien la pregunta ayer. Pregunta ayer. El niño le contestó a su padre y su padre se enfadó. Le contestó a su padre y su padre se enfadó. Enfadó. So this is a simple verb. So contestar in English is to answer. But this verb can change the meaning depending on how you use it. So the first one would be, he answered well the question yesterday. And the second one, if I translate it directly into English, will be the child answered to his father and his father got angry. But the context of this, what the meaning of this is that the child answered back to his father, or talk back to his father, and his father got angry. So it can mean something negative as well, depending on how we use it, is to talk back in a disrespectful way. So el niño le contestó a su padre y su padre se enfadó. Good. Now, in this context here, it's very common to use it with like a child versus an older person. But if you leave it like this, it means to talk back. But what if the child just answered a question? So I'm going to give you another example here to show you how this sentence will be if the child just answered his father a question. El niño le contestó la pregunta a su padre. Muy bien, padre, muy bien. El niño le contestó la pregunta a su padre muy bien. The child answered the question to his father very well. So if you leave it like this, is to talk back. But if you specify, then it will be better, like answering a question in this case. So this is kind of an expression that if you leave it like that, and you're referring to a relationship between a child and an older person, this can translate into English as talking back. El niño le contestó. Now, an adult can talk back to another person as well. If that's the case, it will be like this. El, eh, el adulto le contestó al otro adulto. Le contestó al otro adulto. El adulto le contestó el adulto le contestó al otro adulto. Contestó al otro. So let's start with this one first. The adult answered to the other adult. Just a simple sentence to understand the concept. The adult answered to the other adult. This is not talking back. But you want to say the adult talk back to the other adult, or was mean basically. You have to specify more in English and Spanish. So in English, you may say the adult answered badly to the other adult. So you have to specify more in English and Spanish if it's a relationship between two adults. So you want to say something like that. It will be el adulto le contestó mal al otro adulto. So the adult answered badly to the other adult. In this case, you have to be more specific. So the third one is for not only for children versus adults. It's like a distinction of power as well. Like, for example, an employer answering back to their boss or her boss. That can also happen in this context. If you don't specify well what you are trying to say, people may understand it as the employer talk back to the boss or was mean to the boss and answering. So el empleado. So I can use the third one in another way. Like, for example, el empleado le contestó a su jefe. Contestó a su jefe. Y su jefe se disgustó. the employer talk back to the boss, and the manager or boss get angry. So you may not say that in English. So that's how we say it in Spanish. If it is a difference in power, it will work the same as the third one. In English, you may say the employer answered badly or was disrespectful to the manager, and the manager got it. But in Spanish, we can use the same context as the third one if there is a difference in power or hierarchy. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Vamos con la siguiente. La 23. Contestar. Tiene made a mistake. Let me double check this. 22. Contestar. Bueno, I'm sorry. Esta fue la 23. Bueno, ahora vamos con la 24. La 24 sería correr. Ejemplos. Ellos corren todos los días. Ellos corren todos los días. Segunda. Por favor, córrase a un lado. Tercera. Correr. Por favor, corra el mueble. Por favor, corra el mueble. El jefe la corrió ayer de su trabajo. Bien, estos serían los significados más comunes. Okay, let's start with this one. Correr, to run. To run in English can also have different meanings, but I'm just going to give you the 4 more common ways to use correr in Spanish. So the first one is they run every day. Very straightforward. The second one is, now notice here that I'm using it in the reflexive form. I'm using the pronoun the reflexive pronoun se. The second one means please move to the side. So to run versus to move oneself. The third one is please move the sofa or the sofa or the chair or anything like that for sitting. Mueble is like a general way to say sofa and so on, chair or anything like that. It can also mean it means to anything related to a sofa or I forgot how you say in English, but those chairs that are very comfy, they're kind of big, that can also be mueble, like a more general concept. So, por favor, corra el mueble. Please move the sofa, let's say. Now, this one is reflexive because I'm asking a person to move himself, herself, and so on. This one, I'm asking a person to move something else. And the fourth one is the manager fired her yesterday. Yeah. So if we think of this in English, it will be the manager fired her yesterday of her job. That's exactly how we say it. And with the verb correr here, we have to be more specific. That's why I'm adding here at the end of her job, because correr, if I leave it like this, el jefe la corrió ayer, this can mean something different. This can also mean the manager moved her yesterday, like pick her up and move her to another place, kind of the idea. So the verb correr can mean to move, to fire, or to run. So the first one we had, as I said, we had to be more specific. So I had to include everything else here. Let's go with the next one. Vamos con la 25. Cruzar. Cruzar. Él cruzó la avenida ayer sin su bastón. Bueno, sin su silla de ruedas, cambiamos esto. Silla de ruedas. Él se cruzó de brazos. Él se cruzó. Científicos cruzaron dos especies año pasado. Científicos cruzaron dos especies el año pasado. We can leave it there. So cruzar is to cross. Now, this can mean in Spanish, it can mean different things. So the first one, he crossed the avenue yesterday without his wheelchair to cross something. Second one, él se cruzó de brazos. He crossed his arms. So pay attention to this one. This one is reflexive. So it's like saying in English, he himself crossed his arms. Now, reflexive verbs are extremely common in Spanish, not so much in English. And the third one, he crossed himself. It doesn't make sense in English, but in Spanish, it's like saying él se cruzó. It can mean, in this context, it means like he crossed his legs, like he closed himself up, kind of because he was cold or something like that. But if I leave it with that context, it would mean mostly that he crossed his legs. On the fourth one, the scientists crossed two species last year. So it can also be used not to cross something, but to mix things together, the same as in English. Vamos con la siguiente. Deber, ejemplos. Él debe estudiar. Él debe estudiar. Él debe mucho dinero. So this one is a more simple verb. Deber is to should, must. It can also mean to owe money. So the first one, he must study. The second one, deber is must, not should. Should is more polite. So if you use it in present tense, it would translate as must. If you use it in the conditional tense, which is debería, it would translate as should. He should study. The second one, he owes a lot of money. Next one. Es con la 27. Decidir. Decidir. Ellos necesitan decidir. No sé cómo sería. Ellos necesitan decidirse. Good. It's a straightforward verb as well. But there are two ways to do it. The first one is they need to decide. And the second one is exactly the same meaning, but I'm using the reflexive pronoun here to increase the tone of the sentence. Like they need to make a decision now, basically. You are increasing the tone a little more. So that's a reflexive version. Yeah, and that's it. It's very straightforward. Let's go with the next verb. Vamos con el siguiente verbo. La 28 sería dejar de. Y ejemplos serían: ella dejó de fumar hace 2 años. This one straightforward is to stop doing something. She stopped smoking 2 years ago. Now, be careful with this verb because you want to say to stop doing something. This is the formula, dejar de plus a verb in the infinitive plus infinitivo. If you use it this way, it means to stop doing something. But if you use it without the preposition de, it completely changes the meaning. It will mean something completely different. To not go into this too much, I'm just going to give you this meaning, dejar de, but this is a verb that can use different prepositions. And the prepositions in Spanish are very important, the same as in English, because they can change the meaning of the verbs. Vamos con la 29, descansar. Descansar. Ejemplos, necesitamos descansar. Ella se fue a descansar. A descansar. Ella se fue a descansar al sofá. Sofá. Hace un momento. Ella se fue a descansar al sofá hace un momento. Ella se fue a descansar. Okay. Descansar is to rest. But in English, resting can mean different things as well. Example, first, I need to rest. Second one, she went to rest. Now, if you just tell me this in Spanish, what you are saying is that she died. She didn't go just to rest, she went resting, like that she died. If you use this in third person, be careful how you use it because it can mean people may understand that that person you are talking about or animal died. If you don't want to say that, you have to be more specific. Ella se fue a descansar al sofá. Hace un momento, she went to sleep to the sofa. She went to rest or to take a break to the sofa a moment ago. Y se fue a descansar al sofá. So in this context, it means to sleep. If you say it that way, without more context, it can mean also sleeping. So she went to sleep to the sofa a moment ago. It doesn't mean necessarily to take a break. It's like laying down also. It can also mean lay down. She lay down on the sofa a moment ago. But it's like sleeping or laying down to rest. Now I'm going to give you another one here. Ella se fue a descansar. Unos minutos al patio. Se fue a descansar por unos minutos. The fourth one, she went to rest for a little bit, for some minute, for some time, to the backyard. So resting in this case means taking a break. Doesn't mean laying down. So because it wouldn't make sense that she went to sleep or to lay down at the to the backyard. So depending on the location or what you say, it can mean taking a break or it can mean laying down. Descansar por unos minutos. I'm going to give you one more. Se fue a tomarse un descanso. Now here is more specific. This in English it means tomarse un descanso means to take a break. So this one is more specific. She went to take a break for some time to the backyard. So por unos minutos means for some minutes. This is something we say in Spanish to say for some time. You can say it like that in Spanish as well. Vamos con la siguiente entonces, vamos con el número 30, que sería describir. Describir. Ellas describieron bien la autora del libro. Describieron bien la autora del libro. Ellas se describieron bien. So describir means to describe. So the first one, they they describe, let's change this one. Ellos describían bien la autora del libro ayer. Okay. To give to it more context. Ellas se describieron bien hoy en la mañana. They describe the book's author well yesterday. The second one is they describe themselves well today in the morning. So notice this. This is the reflexive pronoun say. So this means this. I'm using this verb in the reflexive form. In this case, I'm not using the reflexive pronoun say to increase the tone of the sentence. In this case, the reflexive pronoun say is changing the meaning of the sentence, the meaning of the verb. Okay. So in this case, I'm saying they describe themselves. I'm saying themselves, not somebody else. And the first one is somebody else. With the next one, devolver. Carla y Juan devolvieron el paquete ayer. Devolvieron el paquete ayer. Ellos le devolvieron el paquete a Carla y Juan. Devolvieron el paquete a Carla y Juan. Carla y Juana se devolvieron por el paquete. Carla y Juan se devolvieron por el paquete ayer. Anoche. This is the idea. So devolver means to return. You can return money or, well, basically it can mean to return or to go back. And I'm going to explain the difference here. Carla y Juan devolvieron el paquete ayer. Carla and Juan returned the package yesterday. Ellos le devolvieron el paquete a Carla y Juan anoche. They gave back. Okay. Carla y Juan devolvieron. Okay. They returned. But this one is to give back. They gave the package to Carla and Juan anoche. And the third one is Carla y Juan se devolvieron por el paquete. Carla and Juan went back for the package yesterday. So pay attention to this one. On the third one, I'm using the reflexive pronoun se. In this case, doesn't mean to return, doesn't mean to give back. It means to go back. Okay. So this is one of these cases where This is one of those cases where the reflexive pronoun changes the meaning of the verb. Carla y Juana se devolvieron por el paquete. They went back for the package yesterday. And that's it. Vamos con la siguiente. Vamos con 32, que sería devolver. No, sorry. Devolver, dibujar. Dibujar. Ejemplos. Ellos dibujan bien. El niño se dibujó un pájaro en la mano. El niño se dibujó un pájaro en la mano. El niño dibujó un pájaro en la pared. Dibujaron pajaritos en el aire a la compañía y lograron vender la idea el año pasado. Y dibujaron pajaritos en el aire a la compañía y lograron vender la idea el año pasado. Okay. Dibujar is to draw. To draw something like a painting. So the first one, ellos dibujan bien. They draw very well. Now, the second one is the same, to draw, but I'm using the reflexive pronoun here. This is not increasing the tone. This means in English, the child draw a bird on his hand. Drew a bird on his hand. So, this is, the idea is like saying that child drew himself a bird on his hand. The reflexive pronoun is here to let listeners know that the child did it on himself, on his own body. Okay. Sí. And I'm going to give you another example here. Now I can do the same sentence in a different way. I'm gonna put el niño dibujó un pájaro en su mano ayer. So these are two ways to say the same thing. I can use the reflexive pronoun se to say, on himself, or I can use a possessive adjective here to say on his hand. So El Niño drew a bird on his hand yesterday. Okay. So this is, if you speak English, the second one's 2.8 may be easier to understand. So this, you can say himself, on himself, or you can say on his hand. Now the third one, the child drew a bird on the wall. So this time he's not doing it on himself, he's doing it somewhere else. So that's why we cannot use the reflexive pronoun here. The fourth one is a common expression in Colombia. It may be a common expression in other countries, but I know that in Colombia it's a common expression. If you try to make sense of the fourth one, it's not going to make sense at all in English because it's an expression. So, ellos le dibujaron pajaritos en el aire a la compañía y lograron vender la idea. So, dibujar pajaritos en el aire. This one is the expression. If I translate it into English, it's like saying they drew birds on the air to the company and they were able to sell the idea the last year. What it means is they fooled the company and were able to sell the idea last year. To fool someone, basically. Vamos con la siguiente. Disfrutar. Disfrutar. Ellos disfrutaron las vacaciones el año anterior. Ellos disfrutaron las vacaciones. Vacaciones el año anterior. Disfrutaron las vacaciones. Vamos con la siguiente. Okay. Disfrutar means to enjoy. They enjoyed their vacation last year. The third one is, so in this case, I can use the reflexive pronoun, se, or whatever reflexive pronoun, following the grammatical rules for this, which I'm not going to explain now. We will learn this later. Let's say himself, herself. If I say this into English, it will make sense, but it's kind of saying they enjoyed themselves their vacation last year. So what I'm doing here is using the reflexive pronoun to increase the tone of the sentence. Like they really enjoyed their vacation, basically. It's kind of the idea in English. Disfrutaron las vacaciones anteriores. Good. Let's go with the last verb. Doblar. Ejemplos. Él dobló la barra de metal con sus manos ayer. Dobló la barra de metal con sus manos ayer. A él se le dobló el ánimo de trabajar una vez que supo la noticia hace 2 años. Vamos aquí, 2 años atrás. 2 años atrás. Se le dobló el ánimo de trabajar una vez que supo la noticia 2 años atrás. La barra de metal se dobló debido al calor. Se dobló debido al calor. Por favor, doble a la derecha. Necesitamos doblar nuestros esfuerzos. Sí, necesitamos doblar nuestros esfuerzos. No, quintero. Les digo la idea. So doblar is to bend. Can be used in different ways as well in English, in Spanish. So he bent the metal bar with his hands yesterday. Ya sé, como a él se le dobló el ánimo de trabajar una vez que supo la noticia 2 años atrás. He lost his will to work once he found out about the news 2 years ago. About the information. So this one is a él se le dobló el ánimo. Is when it refers to emotions, it's like someone's mood goes down. Okay? In this case, his will to work. I can also say his self-esteem went down, which they say a él se le dobló el autoestima. Se le dobló. Autoestima. Se le dobló el autoestima. Okay, no. Let me rephrase this. A él se le dobló el ánimo. Let's think of this as an expression because it's only used this way, basically. His will went down. His will to do something went down. That's the meaning of it. La barra metal se dobló debido a... Now, here I'm going to explain shortly the difference between this verb here and this one. This one is a transitive verb because the action is falling directly into the bar. But this one is what we call in our school BCC, contrary construction verb, which are similar, which is the same type of format as the verb gustar. You are familiar with it. If you are not familiar with it, we will not do that later. And the other ones is, this one is transitive. No, I'm sorry, la barra metal se dobló. This is reflexive. So here using the reflexive pronoun to say itself. So the metal bar bend itself because of the heat. That's what I'm saying here. So itself here. And the fourth one is please make a right. On to the right. Those are the meanings. And that was it for today. See you next time. Juan Pablo from Español and English Private Tutoring. You have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. You like this video, give it a like. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye.